Okay, we have so many questions already. I was not aware. Okay, wow. Okay. Maybe I did.
Streaming on what?
Sorry?
Questions are streaming on?
Yeah, I was not aware.
No, but where? I can't see on Zoom.
That will be, no, it will not be here. Some will be here, some will be on YouTube. I'm talking about my channel on YouTube.
Okay.
I just saw that there are some questions pre-set. So I hope homosexuality is natural and seen in all species. Okay, so true. People need to change. School children literally make pen. Imagine the mental trauma. Whenever Ankit, you're ready, you let me know and then we will start. Okay, ये अपने बीच में ही चैट कर रहे हैं तो ठीक है. अभी तक लोगों ने यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस नहीं पूछे. Ankit, you ready? I have made you the co-host also.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Now, yeah. Actually, you were visible. Achanak, you're
yes,
not.
I'm ready. Am I audible and visible?
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, Ankit.
Actually, Ankit का signal अच्छा नहीं है ना?
Hi, Ankit. How are you?
Oh,
yeah, you are right.
You are the co-host also, Ankit. So you should be able to, mute and unmute yourself.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible and visible.
You're not visible, but you're audible. Now you're visible also. I hope.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so we are three people. So
hi, Ankit, how are you?
Hi, Umang. Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay, so we shall begin. First, I'll introduce you both, and hopefully, just in case your followers or subscribers are watching, I will introduce myself also. So first, I would like to introduce Umang Sheth, who's a speaker, change enabler, counselor. From founding Gay Bombay in 1998 to starting the Hugging Club of India in 2017 to founding Mr. and Mr. Umang has been bringing a change and changing lives for around 25 years. Through Gay Bombay, he has started a path-breaking support group for the gay community and has helped thousands to become comfortable with their sexuality. And now I would like to introduce Ankit Bhuptani, correct? I'm pronouncing it correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So speaker, DEI leader, LGBT rights activist. Later on, we'll explain what is all that because even I'm confused. Okay. Ankit is a TEDx speaker, human rights advocate, and corporate social responsibility professional for over 10 years of experience. Ankit has been awarded with the Global Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Award in 2019 and 2022 by the World HRD Congress. Congratulations for that. That's really amazing.
Thank you so much.
He has addressed the United Nations Human Rights Council too, Security Council, and UN Women on LGBT and human rights issues. Thank you so much. You guys are like amazing. I have spoken briefly to both of you, but with Umang, I've actually done a session where I met his, I think, what do you call your WhatsApp group, wale log? How do you address them?
Family, STI family, the family of family.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much for doing this, and I really appreciate. I've been like trying to get some people to talk on this topic for like forever now, and every time it gets set and then something goes wrong, or most people leave me on scene. So I really appreciate Umang and Ankit for being here today.
Thank you, Rachna, for doing this, and you have a huge fan following. And what I like about you is that you're helping pro bono selflessly. And you came to my show also, and we went on for 2.5 hours. Nice. Thank you for that.
My pleasure. It was, but I'm used to even longer. So it was like, unless, like it's here also on YouTube. Generally, when I sit down for a question answer, somehow it just gets stretched to 3-4 hours because I just realized what binds us all, besides that we are human beings, we all have problems. Almost all of us, like there is no one without a problem. Okay, so let's start with the सबसे पहला वाला question जो सब आपको पूछते होंगे, ये क्या है? ये LGBTQIA2S plus हो गया अभी. तो ये, what does this all mean? I mean, for all of us, who would like to take, who is like going to, or you both can give your perspective.
Let Ankit go. Ankit is well versed with the new generation.
Okay, cool. Ankit, please tell us, what is all this?
First of all, hi, namaste and jai hind to everyone. It's such a great honor and privilege to be with you and with all your followers here. I'm also thrilled and excited and honored to be with Umang, a person who helped me in my days of coming out and discovering myself. If Umang would have not been there, I'm not sure how would I would have accepted myself. So I'm really, really excited for this conversation with both of you. So thank you for making this possible.
Thank you, Ankit.
Now, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And I'm glad that Ankit has taken up the mentor and is helping so many people from his early days of being in local train and helping till now, you know. So I'm very proud of you, Ankit.
Thank you so much, Umang. Hearing this from you means a lot. So coming to the question, what does LGBTQIA plus means? Yeah. Let's understand from the very basics that humans are different. We all are different and unique in our own ways. And we express ourselves differently. Just the way people are in different shapes and sizes. There are different colors of eyes and skin tones. No two human beings have the exactly same facial expressions or face features, right? Even the twins have some kind of differences. So we understand that we all humans are different in nature. If we again look at it from a perspective of nature, we will say that nature itself is so diverse and different. So when nature is diverse, humans are diverse, then we can also understand the way human feels love, the way human feels connection with another human can also be diverse.
Right.
However, this diversity is generally categorized in a very binary way, in a majoritarian, or you can say in a mainstream conversation. And that is male and a female. And male and female come together, they fall in love with each other, and that is how the reproduction happens and the society or humanity continues. But we also need to understand that the way nature is diverse, the way humans are diverse, their gender identity, their sexual orientation, and their gender expression can also be diverse. So what does LGBT mean? Or what does LGBTQIA++ mean? It just essentially means, in a very simple words, that humans' genders can be more than binary. Humans' expression of love can be more than heterosexuality, and humans' gender expression can also be more than binary. That is what LGBTQIA++ essentially means, that we all are different, we all are unique, and the way we identify ourselves and the way we express ourselves to the world is different. And this diversity is all we are talking about under the queer umbrella, which is about LGBTQIA++. I hope that answers the question, because LGBT is something most of the people would know. So I wanted to highlight the underlying diversity.
Okay, so lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, Q is queer,
and then asexual.
Somebody said you're not clear, Umang. Maybe you can remove your headset. Will that help? Let's try.
Let's try now. Am I audible now?
You are, but like somebody wrote on YouTube that it's not so clear. Okay. So what? Okay, till Q I know. Then after that, ये नया क्या है? ये जो extra add किया गया है.
And A is asexual.
Okay, asexual. Okay.
Yeah. And S is, I think, split plus, right?
Right. Yeah. What is that plus now? What is this new thing?
Ankit would know. I really don't know. Ankit, what is split plus?
Well, split plus essentially means that there are people who may not be able to identify themselves as male or a female or trans, depending on the situation, depending on their phase in life. They may be able to identify sometime as male and sometime as female. And that's why we use the word plus plus to it, saying that the diversity of gender and expression is something which is evolving. And as human evolves, humans' understanding of their own body and mind evolves, there can be more gender identity, orientation, and expression. And that's why we use the word plus plus.
Okay.
That is gender fluidity, Rachna, gender fluidity.
Gender fluidity. Okay. Yeah. Umang, your voice is not as clear as Ankit's. Maybe you want to try removing that thing and directly going to Zoom without connecting to all this. Because even I'm not using any mic, nothing. The Zoom picks up pretty well. Okay, so tell me something, Ankit. What are the reasons behind one's orientation? Because a lot of people are, thinking that ये सही नहीं है, ये गलत है, ये क्यों कर रहे हैं, ये पाप है, ये all of it, right? So what do you have to say for people who think that, let's assume it's a lifestyle choice also, which I think people should be free to choose, make their choices. But what leads one to be in not binary and so many different ways of orientation? What is there like a science research behind all this?
Yeah. So I'll not agree to one statement you use, and that is it's a lifestyle choice.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yes, because many times people have this notion that there is a lifestyle choice. First of all, it is not a lifestyle, but it is the way of living. And second, it is not a choice either, right? I never chose to be gay. Can you imagine? Why would somebody choose a life which involves so much of discrimination, which involves coming out to parents, rejecting the societal so-called norms, disappointing the society around you, your parents and your family, your surrounding, which protects you, which gives you comfort? All of these, which is a societal structure, which is there to support you, somebody breaks all of this just for an self-identification of being different, right? So why would somebody go through such a continuous phases of challenges if it was a choice? So it is not a choice. This is how I was born. Just the way some people are born left-handed, some people are born right-handed. Just the way some people have different colors in their eyes, and which cannot be changed, right? The same way some people happen to be gay, and some people happens to be straight, and some people happens to be bisexual, queer, and all of this thing. We are born this way. This is how we are. It is not a choice, and there is nothing we can do to change it.
Okay. No, when I was saying that it's a lifestyle choice, what I meant is, like, let's assume that even that you didn't choose, but that's the whole point of today or any human existence, right? It's your life. You need, if the samne wala is okay with it, तुमको जो करना है अपने, as long as you're not hurting someone, किसी का खून नहीं कर रहे हो, रेप नहीं कर रहे हो, मैं वो चॉइस की बात कर रही थी कि अगर से किसी को करना भी, let's, अब तो आप बोल रहे हो करके, people want to, that's the science behind it, right? You're just born that way. You don't have a like left, right handed, yeah, eyes ka color, yeah, baal, yeah, something. So you can't do anything about it, right? So Umang, what's your take on this?
So what Ankit says is absolutely right. I did not choose to be gay. I am born gay. I was born gay. But what, as you rightly said, the society. See, people don't choose. I did not choose to be human. God made me human, or nature made me human. And somebody the dog did not choose to be dog. The dog became a dog. But the dog and human coexist. They live in harmony. Why can't heterosexual and homosexual live in harmony?
Right.
Right? And in fact, they love each other. The dog and human love each other. Why can't that bonding happen with homosexual and heterosexual, the society? So that is what as he said, being gay is not easy. It's a tough life. Why should I select that, And the sad part is, the society is that, somebody like a frog is born, a fish is born to swim, and a squirrel is born to climb a tree. Everybody has a purpose. I have been born to live a gay life, and somebody is born to live as a heterosexual life. But if I feel, no, you have to live only like a squirrel, then the fish will live in hell throughout his life. but they both coexist, right? In a fish and squirrel. Then why not homosexual and heterosexual?
Right. True. I like that you just now, that was so deep, when you said कि हम एक जानवर को, एक कुत्ते को प्यार करते हैं, but हम humans में इतनी सी बात को लेकर कि just because a man and man together or a woman and woman together, whatever they are, like you said, whether it's a choice or not doesn't matter. For me, what I'm seeing is कि तुम इनको प्यार कर सकते हो जो जानवर आपसे इतने डिफरेंट है, पर आप सेम अपने खुद के रेस को तुमको प्यार करने में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है क्योंकि उनका ओरिएंटेशन कुछ अलग है, आपसे. सो दैट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सो टेल अस इफ यू डोंट माइंड शेयरिंग विद, because you both will give courage to so many. I get so many, although I am not an LGBTQ community counselor, right, but मेरे पास आते हैं client. मैं अभी very strangely yesterday 2 back to back मेरे cases उसी के related था. एक है जो बाई क्यूरियस या बाइसेक्सुअल और गे ज्यादा फील कर रहा है, एक है जो ट्रांस वुमन फील कर रहे हैं, लाइक उन मेल के बॉडी में अ वुमन इज ट्रैप्ड, राइट, वो वाली. तो मैंने, although I don't take such cases, but I can help them with the emotional, understanding themselves, how to become a little stronger. But you both can actually help. जो भी देखेगा आज या जब भी ये वीडियोस कोई देखेगा, what do you have to say? आपने कैसे इतना स्ट्रेंथ गैदर करके आज आप पॉडकास्ट पे आए. लोग तो क्लोजेट से बाहर भी नहीं निकलते हैं क्योंकि उनको इतना टेंशन और शर्म और वो एम्बैरेसमेंट फेस करना पड़ता है. आज आप लोग इधर बैठे हो. Tell us, each one, tell us about your journey. Umang, go first. Tell us a little bit about your life and how did you become so strong? What made you do this?
You want me to go first?
Yeah? Yes, Umang, yes.
Okay, for me, I was born in a very different family, to be honest. My mom had schizophrenia and my dad has bipolar. So there was nothing usual in my life, So when I grew up, I realized that I was effeminate, people were bullying me and all, but I was so used to that, of being an outsider, being not having a regular life. So I accepted myself easily, because I was always being looked down, mocked upon, called names, because I was effeminate, chakka, baila, all these stuffs I was called when I was growing up. But I had a bigger issue of my parents, having mental health challenge. So I was always something, it was not a usual family. So when I came out, when I was not the usual fitting into, the heterosexual, it was easy for me. But yes, what I did is I thought about it that for many years, I also thought that I'm an alien, मैं ऐसा ही हो, बाकी सब, everybody's like talking about women and I am attracted to men. But what gave me confidence, I'll tell you, is a support group like Humsafar, a magazine called Bombay Dost. I went there and met people like me. See, as I was telling you, if a frog or a fish moves around with squirrel, he will keep complaining, oh, I am weak, I am loser, I can't climb a tree, there's a problem with me. It will feel disappointed. But if a fish and goes and meet other fishes, he'll be comfortable. He'll be in that support group. Right. So what I recommend people in the group is that there's nothing wrong with me. You are in minority, it is not abnormality. Being in minority is not abnormality, You need to find people like you, because you're unique. I give these examples, Rachna, every time, that Sudha Murthy, 40 years back, was the only woman in her college, engineering college. Was she abnormal? No, she was different. And so are you. Okay, even someone like Usha Uttup used to wear a gajra and sport shoes and sing 40 years back. She was unique, I give another example. Bappi Lahiri, he used to, being a man, used to wear gold jewelry. And he was unique. He was not abnormal. So if you can accept Bappi Lahiri wearing so much, being a man wearing so much jewelry, why can't you accept a man wearing so much makeup?
अरे मेरे पे भी बात करते हैं, like when they come on YouTube, they're like, why are you wearing makeup? I'm like, तुम जब बाहर जाते हो, ठीक है, जब बिस्तर से उठ के सीधा YouTube पे या किसी के शादी में या कॉलेज में या काम पे तो नहीं जाते, तो तुमको क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ये मेरा काम है, मैं जो भी कपड़ा पहनना चाहूँ. Like people are so, judgmental कि तुम क्या पहन रहे हो, कैसे पहन रहे हो, लो नेक है, शॉर्ट है, मेकअप लगाया है, बाल. I mean, you can't ever stop them, but you come from at least Ankit is from this generation of sorts, and you were like, that must be so tough back then, considering it's so tough right now also. How did you, I mean, you just spoke about this Humsafar and something else you said.
There is a magazine called Bombay Dost many years back.
Bombay, abhi nahi hai.
अभी बंद हो गया है, अभी maybe online version होगा, but I remember my time I realized there was a bar called Gokul behind Bade Mian in behind Taj Hotel, and the inner section was for the gay community. So I went and met people. So what I'm trying to tell you is that go and meet people like you. If you are with other people, you will feel you are a loser or that you are abnormal or there's something wrong with me. And just imagine a fish trying to climb a tree. It will die. Exactly. It cannot. A fish is born to see. So you trying to become much. If you are not, ye ladki ke, you're not. You're not being yourself. Just go and meet people like yourself.
So जब आप ऐसे अभी जो तुम कर रहे हो, because there will be a lot of people who are going to want to connect with you all. I know for a fact that yesterday the clients that I spoke, and I spoke about you both. Do you both counsel, or what do I do if I have someone who's from the LGBTQ community who's confused and is too new for them? Can I like give your numbers, or how does it work? Umang, I know you do some counseling, right? So can I send them to you?
Sure, you can give my number. You can tell them to go to Gay Bombay. It's something which I founded in 1998. It's a very huge support group. Okay. So they can give mine. You can give my number. I can help them out. Let Ankit also say. Ankit,
how can you help them if they are like confused? And
absolutely. So you can definitely share my contact details. They can reach out to me on social media, and I would connect them to various support groups available across the country. Right. So no matter now, if you are not in Mumbai or Delhi or in tier 2, tier 3 cities, we have support groups out there. And as Umang rightly pointed out, that finding your own community, finding that space which accepts you, finding that space which does not judge you, right, is so important in your journey of acceptance. And without which you will feel lost. So reach out to people like me, Umang, and so many others, and we can help you to connect with the community who may be around you. And we would be definitely helping you out in case you're struggling.
Right.
Because I found the courage to come out because there were people in a generation before me who found the courage to come out. If I would have not seen people like Umang, if I would have not seen people like Harish Iyer, Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi, Pallav Path, these are the queer icons of our community. If I would have not met these people and would have not seen them being comfortable, I would have not found the courage to come out. And now today, when I am out, I'm so happy and honored to be the instrument of being that inspiration for somebody else to come out. So coming out is also a journey from generation to generation to generation, and which continues.
And did your parents support? Did you all have any backlash? How did you all deal with this? Actually, when you were talking, that really hurt me when you said ना कि आपको बाइला चक्का ये सब बुलाते हैं. आज अगर से कोई भी इस सेशन से कुछ भी लेके जाएगा, एक चीज तुमको शायद समझ में ना आए, इनका तरीका, इनको क्यों ऐसा ओरिएंटेशन है, शायद आपके लिए वो थोड़ा समझ के ऊपर है, और आप लोग शायद रीति रिवाज और वो थोड़ा ऑर्थोडॉक्स और रिग्रेसिव सोच भले हमारी हो, बट एक सामने इंसान को तुम जब टीज करते हो, उनको जिंदगी भर के लिए ट्रॉमा देते हो, जब आप उनको छक्का बुलाते हो. और मेरे पास और भी क्लाइंट्स है जो एफेमिनेट होते हैं, मतलब उसका जिनको पता कि थोड़ा लड़के दिखते हैं पर थोड़ी लड़कियों जैसी उनके में भी बात करने का स्टाइल या आवाज या उनका लुक या जो भी आप. तो आई अंडरस्टैंड कि कुछ चीजें हमारे समझ के बाहर हमेशा जिंदगी भर रहेगी. एज ह्यूमंस वी आर वेरी लिमिटेड, बट आप लोग इतना तो कर सकते हो कि किसी का मजाक मत उड़ाओ, क्योंकि वैसे ही उन लोग ऑलरेडी उनके लाइफ में स्ट्रगल चल रही है, उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि वो ऐसा क्यों फील कर रहे हैं. जैसे कल जो मेरे क्लाइंट थे इतने कंफ्यूज हैं क्योंकि एक दिखते मेल है पर उनको लग रहा है कि वो फीमेल है. कैन यू इमेजिन द स्ट्रगल ऑफ समवन, एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट यू पीपल ऐड द ट्रॉमा ऑफ bullying them, trolling them, calling them names. So please, अगर से कुछ भी इस सेशन से आप लेके जा रहे हो, and if you're like good followers, मुझे fans नहीं चाहिए. आपको अगर से किसी चीज से हम, if you can do something for me in return, is to stop teasing people. And आपको पता है मैंने बहुत बार बोला है, teasing whether it is to height shaming बोलो, color shaming बोलो, अभी जैसे इनके ओरिएंटेशन शेमिंग बोलो, कोई टकला हो रहा है उस पे तुम लोग ये करते हो, हर बात पे तुम लोग एक दूसरे का मजाक उड़ाते हो. मजाक और टीज, ट्रोल और बुली करना अलग बात है. मस्ती इज व्हेन द पर्सन डजंट फील हर्ट. ओके, सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. ओके, सो टेल अस समथिंग. सॉरी, whose hand is up, Mr. Acha, you want to say something? Yes, go ahead.
So Rachna, what you have touched a very, very important point, sorry, because I remember getting, names and people asking in the, where, like, I remember giving my SSC form and the principal said there is a male column and there is a female column. Does anybody need a third column? And one guy raised his hand and said, Umang, I was just 16 years old and I just wanted to bang my head and disappear, So what you said is very important, that you already struggling with your sexuality and then people are calling you all these names, sixer, whatever, baila, chakka, ijada and all. But Rachna, I'll tell you honestly, the outside world will not change or it will take a lot of time. So a wisdom will help you. So Rachna, there are two ways to deal with it. And I learned the hard way. So जब मैं 20 साल का था and somebody would say, ए बाइला, ए छक्का, ये लड़की की तरह क्यों जा रहा है? I would cry, I would bang my head, I would, hate them. I would shout and yell at them, what nonsense, ye wo. But today, when I'm in my 40s, if somebody calls me ke baila chakka, my attitude is that, what is he telling? What society has put in his head? Bollywood, his parents, his upbringing has put that this is baila and chakra. He doesn't have anything personal against me. Society has put in his head. He was not born hating me. His environment, society, parents, Bollywood has put into his head. If I understand this, Rachna, I'm liberated. I am free. I'm free. वो उसको मेरा personal enmity नहीं है. दुनिया ने अंदर डाला है. तो मुझे कुछ करना है तो दुनिया को बदलना है. उसके साथ झगड़ना नहीं है. दुनिया के साथ झगड़ो. That is my take.
That is very beautiful and very, इसके लिए पर अभी maybe you went through a journey, right, to come to this place of understanding कि ठीक है, इनको समझ नहीं है इसलिए ऐसे करते हैं. But आई एम वेरी ग्लैड कि हम लोग आज इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. और ऐसा लाइक इवन एक ट्रांसजेंडर के साथ मेरी कॉन्वर्सेशन हुई थी. उनके साथ तो मैंने 3 सेशंस किए थे क्योंकि उनकी लाइफ स्टोरी ऐसी थी जहाँ पे पेरेंट्स ने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. शी हैड टू बेग, देन शी वाज रेप्ड और गैंग रेप्ड एंड इट वाज सो सैड टू सी कि इंडिया में इतना तकलीफ झेल रहे हैं. So Ankit, tell me, did your parents finally accept you, or what's your situation like at home, or like now you're like, I don't give a damn, कोई करे ना करे, मैं तो जीऊंगा अपनी जिंदगी. How does it work?
Well, of course, I have reached to that wisdom point wherein I really don't seek approval from other people, or I have not given remote control of my feeling to anybody else in the world. I have my own remote control. At least whatever happens in the outside world, it may not be in my control, but what happens within me should be in my control, right? And that is what I personally feel and practice currently, and that has given me a lot of peace. But coming to this point was not easy, Rachna. I have gone through extremely difficult time, as Umang also shared, and many, this may be relating to many queer people who are listening to this, and this is the living story, right, of many queer people. I discovered myself being different at the age of 15. But there was nobody around me who was like me. The whole world was telling me one set of story, and that is couples means love means a male and female who gets married and stays together. This is what the world was telling me. My parents, my society around me, neighbors, school friends, their parents, things like that, right? And I thought that if this truth about me, which I have discovered, me being different, I don't have attraction towards women, will be revealed to the world, I will be considered as disgrace to the society. My parents will disown me. And I didn't want to be the reason of shame for my parents. And unfortunately, at the age of 17, I tried to end my life. One fine evening when my mom went out to buy vegetables in the market, I locked the home from inside. I prepared the best chai possible with extra cardamom and extra mila doodh in it. because that is how I love my chai. I had that best chai ever. And then I took a knife and tried to enter that in my stomach. 17-year-old kid. Today, when I talk about it, I laugh over it because I come from a Gujarati vegetarian family. And if anybody who do not know about this, you can hardly cut a potato out of a vegetarian knife in a Gujarati home. Forget about killing a human being. So of course, I did not succeed. But that was the phase of my life when I tried to end my life because I thought that I don't want to be disgraced to my family and my parents. And from then, few days later, I saw a newspaper article that there is this Mumbai pride of queer people. Queer was not the word at the time, but LGBT people happening for the first time. And I decided to, I never before, forget about local train. My whole world was limited to my school and home to school. Till my 10th grade, my mom used to come and pick me up from school to home and home to school. So my whole world was limited to that. I never tried by local train alone, and I decided to go there. And I thought that I'll not get engaged with them, but I look at these people from the distance. So I take a local train for the first time. I change it at the other station, reach to the pride location. And I'm looking at the distance. And what do I see? I see that people in different colorful clothes are so happy celebrating something. And as I was doing that, I suddenly feel a tap on my shoulder. And I look back. Do you know who was that person? It was Umang.
Oh.
So Umang tells me that, hey, where you are right now, I was also here few years ago at this phase, was discovering myself being different and questioning myself. Don't worry, we are organizing this event next week. Why don't you come down, wherein parents of a few queer children who are going to come and talk about their journey. That was the very first event of Gay Bombay which I attended. Thanks to Umang, I got to know about it. And then I started and I went to that event. And when I saw that there were parents who was talking about their, no matter what, whatever my child is, I'm proud of it. That day, Rachna, I decided that if I don't at least have courage to celebrate like all these people who are celebrating about their differentness, their identity in a pride, at least I will stop the attempt of ending my life. And that is where my journey starts. At the age of 17 and a half, when I found the community to relate with. And that's why, again and again, both of us and many other people will tell you that how important the sense of community is for us. We make our own family, actually. And that's how my journey is. You asked me about my parents. I never had a sit-down conversation with them saying that, Mom and Dad, sit, I want to tell you something that I'm gay. That never happened. But I feel that acceptance or rejection also comes in different shades of gray. It is not always black and white or accepted or rejected. My father passed away 2 years ago. But if till the time he was alive, he never forced me to do something which I never wanted. Even today, my mom never forced me and talks about that you should get married or anything like that. Of course, she knows I'm doing so much and I'm so out in media and other places in public conversation about being queer. She never stops me from doing it. Of course, she never acknowledges me being queer. So it is like, something which you don't want to address completely. You just avoid talking about it. Sometimes we lose more, so you just don't talk about it. So something like that is there in my home. And I'm completely fine with that, So our expectations that my parents need to accept me the way I am right now or immediately is also too much of expectation. So if they are not forcing you to get married, if they are not troubling you in your way of living, so you need to be a little bit more compassionate and open-hearted to give them their space of self-identification of their child sexuality in whichever they want, as far as it is not questioning your existence and safety and security. So that is the case with my parents.
Wow, that was really deep because I do get clients who are like, "Hamare parents hame support nahi kar rahe." I say, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड वो कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, उनको इतनी समझ नहीं है। और स्पेशली जैसे हमें जब लग जाता है, कुछ लग जाता है, हमको ही समझ में आता है कितना पेन हो रहा है। सामने वाले को पता है हमें पेन हो रहा है, पर उनको समझ नहीं है जब तक खुद एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करते हो। जैसे आप लोग जो एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो, इट्स नॉट ईजी फॉर, हम भले कितना भी बात कर ले, बट जो तुम लोग एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो, जब तक हम वैसे होते नहीं तब तक हमको, वी कैन ओनली ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड अ लिटिल बिट, इमेजिन एंड यूज योर थोड़ा बहुत, बट फिर भी वो 100% कभी we will not come close to it. Ankit, I keep hearing you say that you're queer, and what is it, how is it different from being gay, bisexual, or
Yeah. So queer term historically was used for people who were different. It was not primarily for LGBT people historically, 100 years ago, 100, 150 years ago, right? And so it was derogatory or a negative term, like a bad word, like chakka, hijra, che number, all these in India we use. The way in America it was used for people who are outcasted or outside the box, who were not mainstream, right? And it was used in a derogatory way. So when LGBT people started hearing this word being used for them, they pushed back, saying that, okay, if you're calling us queer, okay, we are queer, right? And they started reclaiming that space and the meaning of the word queer. And that's how the whole meaning of the word changed. The language evolves the same way the meaning of queer evolved. And now in today's terminology, the word queer means an umbrella term that involves anyone who is not heterosexual. Or so that involves LGBTQIA++, all kind of diverse gender identity, orientation, and expression people collectively can be called as queer.
Okay. So Umang, how do you, I know that आजकल पता नहीं he, she, they, them चल रहा है, मुझे कोई समझाएगा इसका मतलब क्या है? मुझे तो like they get offended, but मुझे समझ में आएगा तो मैं they, them use करूँ, कैसे sentence में कैसे use करते हैं? Like I'm one of those people, although I'm from this, I'm not from all this generation. I'm 50. So for me also, I'm trying my level best to understand all this, right? I don't like to be stuck. Just because I come from that generation, I cannot become more educated or knowledgeable on what other people are experiencing. It's not going to be easy because even I am like, I'm from this small village and all. तो मेरे लिए भी like मेरी बेटी बोलती है, अरे my friend just says she is non-binary. ऐसे उसका मतलब क्या है? Like मैं खुद ही इतनी confused हूँ, मैं बोलती अच्छा गूगल करते हैं, देखते हैं इसका मतलब क्या है. So I'm constant thirst for knowledge in the right direction. लोग religion और politics को लेके मुझे जब भी question करते हैं, मैं irritated हो जाती हूँ. I said don't talk about these real issues जो इंसान फेस कर रहा है. भगवान का हमको नहीं पता, उतने दूर मत जाओ, पहले अपने इंसानों के बीच में ही इंसानियत रखो, वो सबसे बड़ी बात है. तो एक्सप्लेन करो ये दे देम कब यूज किया जाता है और क्यों यूज किया जाता है.
What I want to add, what you are saying now, the best thing is we don't know, as you have said, you're open to learn, is to ask them. What I'm trying to say, they themselves are going through a lot. Sometimes it is gender fluid. Today I feel like a boy, tomorrow I feel like a girl. And if you feel offended that what is this happening, you don't. But try to understand what they are going through, right? And coming to, as you said about parents and all, I trying to accept myself. I have to give that space to my parents also, right? I took 2 to 3 years, and they are from a different generation. So Rachna, when you come out to your parents or your friends or relatives or whatever, there is a role reversal. अगर मैं अपनी मम्मी डैडी को बोलूंगा कि मैं गे हूं, तो आपको नॉलेज है, मम्मी पापा को नॉलेज नहीं है, तो आप पेरेंट्स बन जाएंगे और उनको वो बच्चे बन जाएंगे. इट्स अ टाइम फॉर रोल रिवर्सल. They will ask you question, ये क्या है, this is abnormal or this is that. You have to give them time because you have seen the world, but they are from a different generation. तो वो गुस्से में तुम्हें बोलेंगे घर छोड़ के जाओ, ये करो, वो करो. Just मेरे फ्रेंड के माँ बाप ने एक्सेप्ट किया है, तो और मेरे मम्मी पापा मैं बोलूंगा मैं तो मेरे लिए बारात नहीं लाने वाले. We have to give them time. So the main thing to understand, Rachna, is that when you come out to your parents, you become a parent and let them be child. Give them knowledge.
Okay. So बारात से मुझे याद आया, मेरे पास ऐसे क्लाइंट्स आते हैं जहाँ पे उनको जबरदस्ती शादी करने लगाते, और मैं तो गुस्सा हो जाती हूँ कभी कभी उनके साथ. I'm like, I understand that you're suffocated, तुम क्लोजेट से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते, तुम गे हो, लेस्बियन हो, जो भी हो, बट तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता सामने वाले की जिंदगी बर्बाद करना. इफ यू आर प्लानिंग, बिकॉज सपोज आपको एक टर्मिनल इलनेस है, लेट्स, अच्छा अंकित कहाँ चले गए? अंकित, यू जस्ट डिसअपीयर्ड ऑफ द स्क्रीन. ओके वेट, एड्स पढ़ रहे. हाँ, सो आई एम सेइंग कि व्हाट हैपेंस कि लोग पेरेंट्स के प्रेशर में, सोसाइटी के प्रेशर में तुम हाँ तो बोल देते हो शादी करने के लिए, बट यू विल ruin that person's life because they didn't ask for this. They wanted to marry maybe a heterosexual person, and there's nothing wrong if you're gay, lesbian, whatever your orientation, it doesn't matter. But what do you have to say when people do this and they keep quiet, and then they are actually having sex outside with, suppose it's a gay guy, right? He was busy having sex elsewhere. And और एक टॉपिक मुझे बात करना है कि many a times people get really upset. Actually, I'm mixing two topics. Wait, I'll write it down and forget to. Let's address this topic first. So, तुम्हारा क्या कहना है जब लोग ऐसा करते हैं और शादी कर लेते हैं under pressure, but it affects that other person's life also, right? What do you have to say, Ankit?
Well,
let me go first. Then okay,
yeah,
Ankit,
sure.
go ahead.
Yeah.
No, Umang, go ahead if you are completing. No problem.
Umang, you go first, then Ankit.
Okay, so what happens is, see, there are a couple of things. First of all, there is a fear of, see, I am not telling that it is right. One should never get married to a woman. But try to understand other people, that there is a lot of pressure of loneliness. Okay, what will happen? Mere budhape mein kya hoga? Other thing is that they don't have so much courage to come out and fight the world, But that doesn't mean you have to spoil a woman's life. Forget the woman's life. You are spoiling your own life, But what I'm trying to say is that you need to find people, spaces, as Ankit said, and meet other people who, whatever, agar koi 40 saal pehle bhi, I know people like Sridhar, Ashok, Sohail, who did not get married. Then today it is easier. You are educated people. Go and find support systems, and meet people. Don't just succumb to marriage,
Right.
Find support groups, But what I'm trying to say is go out and reach out. Marriage is, you are spoiling somebody's life and you're not going to be happy.
Right.
So, see, you love your parents, but after 18, you have control of your life. So don't make an excuse that meri mummy force kar rahi hai, meri dad force kar rahe. You are 18. Think about you. You love your parents, but they don't own you. Okay, you have your mind. Think about it.
Right.
So don't get that excuse that my parents are doing that. You have to get up and fight for yourself.
So, Surinder, I read your question. Please, जब हम बात कर रहे होते हैं ना, बहुत difficult होता है बीच में से आपका question लेना. जब हमारा conversation हो जाएगा, सबका questions जिसने YouTube पे मांगा कि यहाँ मांगा, I will answer everything. But I need to keep the flow. Otherwise मेरा flow चले जाता है और फिर मैं कुछ और ही बात करती हूँ. और मैं कुछ, हाँ, उस बात से मुझे याद आया कि जब अंकित बात कर रहे थे, I don't want to miss this very important point. I have had clients who are very suicidal. So please एक psychiatrist को जरूर बात कीजिए. और इस podcast के बाद I will put resources which Ankit and Umang give me. Please don't harm yourself and hurt yourself just because आपकी orientation अलग है. आप help ले सकते हो. आप इसमें से आपको अभी तो सोचो, उमंग तो previous generation के हैं. आप इस generation में अगर से ऐसा feel कर रहे हो तो please शादी की जबरदस्ती किसी और से करना. और 18 में तो कोई जनरली शादी नहीं करता. चल लेट्स अज्यूम कि 25 28 के हो, तुम बड़े हो गए हो, तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स, यू विल आउटलिव योर पेरेंट्स बाय 20-30 इयर्स. तो जब आप शादी कर रहे हो, वो तो नहीं होंगे. बाद में आपको शादी निभाना भी है और बच्चों को भी देखना है, और वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन में आप भी जियोगे और आपका पार्टनर भी जिएगा. तो इसलिए वो नहीं करना है. अंकित, व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से व्हेन men do this, or even females get married जबरदस्ती? And someone wrote to me कि जबरदस्ती लड़कियों के साथ उनके relatives have sex, and so that to say कि see, you're not lesbian, actually it's fun to have heterosexual sex. So it's so sad that women are also forced into this. Do you get such cases? How do you all deal with it?
Unfortunately, in one case, at least in every 15 days, I'll be getting when somebody unknown would be texting me and saying that, do you know any lesbian with whom I can get married? And then, so she's also free to do what she wants. I will also be free what I want, and our parents would be happy. And this may be the case with so many other people like Umang and me, who are out, right, in a public space. And my answer to all of these people is this very simple one. And that is, you are adding to a problem which already exists. If you see now, let me tell you this thing. If you are thinking that if I come out right now, my parents will reject me or my parents' health issues may come out, and all the problems, if you put all the problems which you think may happen, if you come out right now to stop the marriage and put it into unit, it may be this much, okay? And compare it with the lifetime of the problem which you are signing up to by getting married. I know personally of a case wherein somebody who got married because of the parents' pressure, mom was sick and saying that it is my last wish and all that challenges which you, I will not call it a emotional drama because this was genuine cases. But again, he got married. The marriage was not consumed. Within 2 months, he had to give half of his property, which he owned. And then again, he got married second time. Okay, this is a real case in Jabalpur. Again, the second time he got married. Again, the marriage was not consumed within a year's time for the various reasons. Now, this time, he filed a case for the divorce, right? And again, being a boy, he had to give out his property. And it is not just about property, but it's a real situation, right? So I would say, and even if you don't, suppose you think that, okay, now I'll manage somehow, I will have a physical relation with a woman, I will just take up a pill, it's just about doing for 5-10 minutes of performance, maybe you will be able to do it, no problem out there. But can you imagine, for your whole life, you will be living a fake life. You will be always feeling something missing on your life. Right now, you're thinking that you are doing this for your parents' happiness and their joy. But tell me something, if you get married to somebody whom you don't love, will that partner be happy? Who has given you the right to spoil somebody else's life? If your partner is not happy, will you be happy? If both of you are not happy, will your parents be really happy? And chalo, aapne is sabko bhi deal kar liya. How will you be able to control your own urges? Do you know what will happen? Do you see those uncles standing outside a college who are older and look at the girls outside a college and in the local trains and things like that? Do you want to be like that, standing outside a college or in local train looking at young guys, or maybe just going on a dating app, cheating your wife and meeting other boys? And chalo, you may do like that also. We know so many married men who are doing that, cheating their wife, living dual life. Have you ever imagined what would happen if your daughter comes to know tomorrow about it? How will you face your own child, your own daughter? Think of all the trauma you are signing up to, all the challenges you're signing up to by getting married to opposite gender if you are queer. So the amount of problems and challenges you will face right now is this much compared to amount of problems and challenges you will face by getting married in your whole life. And now take a wise decision. Do you really want to get married? This will help you out, navigate this question. Because please don't get married. If you had your own daughter, if you had your own sister, will you allow her to get married to somebody who happens to be gay? If no, who has given you the right to spoil somebody else's daughter and sister's life?
Very true.
Rachna, I just want to add a small thing.
Yes. I was going to ask you, have you experienced such cases? What do you tell them? How do you handle it?
So, I know somebody who's married, is gay and got married, and I asked him, he said that, we get married for our parents, and when there is a problem with my wife, what my parents say, wo tumhara hai, tum dekh lo. So, we want to get married for our parents, make them happy, but be realistic. How long they are going to live also? 20, 30 years, but you have your whole life, and if there is a problem, they are not going to help you at times. And look at the worst part, Rachna. If tomorrow your wife will go and tell the whole world, okay, if you can't screw me, I will screw your happiness. She will go and defame you in the whole world and society. Because if the woman can't conceive, the blame is mostly on the woman. Nah? There's nothing wrong with the men. It's only with the woman. That's how the patriarchal society thinks. So just imagine today, women will go and tell the whole world, there's a problem with your son, not with me. Just imagine how your parents will feel that time.
Right, very true, very true. And I've had some people and I'm like, oh my God, तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो? You know, ऐसे तुम चुप चुप के करोगे और फिर finally तो इंसान को कुछ भी हो, अगर से truly gay or truly whatever finally your spouse will find out. It is not possible. I had a case where this woman was married 10 years and he hid it for 10 years from her. Finally, she got pictures and caught him with, and it completely destroyed her, the child, everything. So that has to be. So tell me something. Now, this is the biggest, one of the biggest reasons I feel people are not accepting the gay or lesbian community. Why? Because I feel they only look at it from a superficial sexual angle. They think ये लोग को मजा आ रहा है, man with man, woman with woman. They are not understanding that it's also about compatibility, the emotional connect. It is not just sex. But सबके मन में ये आता है, the reason they get like you, because we have for years seen only a guy and girl do it, right? So that I think he's gone. Huh? So that is something which really bothers a lot of people. Wait, Ankit, I'll just put you again. I think you had.
I'm so sorry. I have a bad connection somehow today.
तो मैं ये सोच रही थी कि it's that uneasiness which people think, oh, they're going to have anal sex. Or क्योंकि I'm going to be very upfront. Let's talk like openly, because this is one of the main reasons why people, heterosexual people or homophobic people cannot handle it, क्योंकि उनके हिसाब से सिर्फ एक औरत और मर्द साथ में होना चाहिए sexually, मर्द and मर्द, woman and woman. Oh my God, ew. And वो भी सोचते हैं कि लोग करते क्या होंगे? How can they get sexual satisfaction with anal sex, or what does a woman do? And then they think, oh, then if she needs a dildo, suppose it's a lesbian and they're still doing that, then why is she with a woman? So these kind of questions is, I think this is one of the main reasons that people are anti-LGBT, because they don't understand कि ये सिर्फ sex के बारे में नहीं है. There is much more. So please speak on this. What is this much more? What should they see it as? It's not like they don't even realize that any couple, whether it's a gay, lesbian, heterosexual couple or whatever couple, finally sex gets monotonous, right? It's not about sex ki puri zindagi tum bas fuck kar rahe ho. Aisa nahi hai. So help us to understand this particular problem.
Sure, Rachna. You know, I was in that space when I was like growing up, 18, 19, there was this MSN chat room and Yahoo chat room, and it was all about sex, being gay. And I was so fed up, you know. So that's why when I became 24, I started Gay Bombay, called people at a place with non-sexual. You come to McDonald's where it is a family crowd, you know. So when I started Gay Bombay, I did a lot of events. Even I called parents of gay people to make them understand that being gay is not all about sex, you know. That is first we need to understand, because we don't know. See, we have only seen around the world, and we don't know that there is somebody whom we can talk, relate, connect, relationship. So that's what I did. Coming to straight people, you know, who think that we are just sexed out or we are just into sex. What I'm trying to say is that is their perception. See, one idea is to get very angry. How dare you talk to me? I'm not a sex seeker. I'm not horny, blah, blah. Or you come out and talk to them, how you communicate. You go out in different places, at offices, societies, and they say, हाँ रे मैंने टीवी में देखा था ये लोग तो हिलते डुलते हैं, whatever, ये लोग को sex चाहिए पीछे पड़ते. But Umang is not like that. Ankit is not like that. So instead of fighting, yelling and shouting, be that person. Be that change. So you people will look at it and you say, हाँ अरे यार ये gay है लेकिन ये अच्छा आदमी है, ये creative आदमी है, ये काम करता है, ये ऐसा करता है, ये. Then people will start looking at other aspects. So it is very easy to blame the society. ये लोग मुझे ऐसा बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन तुम क्या कर रहे हो to change that perception?
Right. नहीं, पर तुमने सही कहा. नहीं, now I kind of get what you're saying. जब आपने कहा कि आप जब initially joined किया, people were into apps and they were finding people for sex and all. But I know why. Now that I'm thinking a little bit deeper, for us heterosexual people, we have so many bloody options, right? Like किसी ने अभी statistics डाला है, कुछ तो भी percentage is these many percentage. I'm trying to find that message. I didn't even know there is a. It is estimated that 5% of the population is gay in India. That means 69 million people in India are gay. Now imagine uska rest is hetero. So we are getting obviously more options. So हमको we are not sex starved. But because आप gay होते हो या lesbian होते हो, इतने कम choices वैसे ही आपके, क्योंकि सब लोग closet में, किसी को नहीं पता कौन gay है कौन lesbian है. So I know that कि मेरे कुछ clients के साथ ऐसा actually हुआ है. They've been so sex starved or they want company or they are gay. They go in the wrong apps, wrong pubs. They get beaten up. They get raped. One of them has even got HIV because he had sex with someone he didn't know, right? एंड जो लोग को लगता है डबल कॉन्डम हेल्प करता है, नहीं, उल्टा ज्यादा इशू हो जाता है. और HIV के लिए आई एम प्लानिंग टू डू अ पॉडकास्ट. उसके साथ डेट लास्ट टाइम मैंने ही कैंसिल किया, मेरी गलती थी, कुछ हो गया था. तो वी आर प्लानिंग दैट. आज हम उसके बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे, बट जो भी आज देख रहा है, प्लीज बी केयरफुल. डोंट जस्ट गो एंड मीट पीपल एनीवेयर जस्ट बिकॉज यू फील कि ओके दिस पर्सन, फॉर ऑल यू नो आपको वो रेप करें या आपको हर्ट करें. और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आई हैव, जितना मैंने थोड़ा रिसर्च किया है, गेज में ज्यादा HIV होने के चांसेस है बिकॉज कंटामिनेशन एंड ऑल दैट इज फार मोर. सो प्लीज बी केयरफुल. लाइक तुम एक ह्यूमन बीइंग को ढूंढ रहे हो कंपनी के लिए, आई अंडरस्टैंड, बट उसका मतलब हम भी हेटेरोसेक्सुअल लोग भी ऐसे नहीं कि चले कहीं भी. हम भी सोच समझ के ये करते हैं. जब हमको किसी के साथ अटैचमेंट होता है, प्यार होता है या सेक्स करना होता है, so it doesn't change. You're still a human being. And yesterday I remember telling this client, your orientation doesn't mean that you're not human. Remember, we are all from the same race. अगर से आपको आप LGBTQ कहीं से भी हो, एक basic concept हमेशा याद रखो, you are not. I loved one line, but I can't remember what you had said, Umang. You said it's not abnormal, it is something else. You said that you're not
minority, it's not abnormality.
That everybody remember this. It is a minority, but it is not an abnormality. मतलब कुछ गलत नहीं है आप में. Actually, Ankit, that's what I wanted to tell you, ask you कि you must have done some research. Is there like a research which is confirmed that why one is gay, lesbian? Is there like a particular genetic thing that goes on?
Well, if you look at the scientific conversation around the why person becomes queer, is that there are various theories available, right? And which says that, and most of this conclusive scientific research says that this is how people are born. However, there are research which says something it is because of genetic. There are people or a conversation in the scientific community which says that this is the process for when they are in the fetus and so on and so forth. But I would say that it's, even if we are not able to pinpoint exact scientific reason behind it, it's perfectly fine. I tell you why. Because the day we will be able to pinpoint that this is the hormone or this is the chemical, because of this we happen to be queer, people will start to find a solution for it. People will say, okay, this is the chemical, what is the counter chemical to suppress this chemical, or this is the hormone, what are the counter hormones to suppress this hormones, right? And then the forceful conversion gets much more promoted. So I would not go in the area wherein we will say that let's pinpoint this is the scientific reason exactly why people become queer, but let's take the fact on the plate right now on today's date, and that is all the mature scientific community, including Indian Psychiatrists Association, World Health Organization, and over 85 countries on the planet agrees that this is not something you can choose. This is how you are born. And to answer one more point on the previous question, Rachna, if I may, that क्या समलैंगिकता केवल सेक्स के बारे में है? हाँ, ये समलैंगिकता सेक्स के बारे में. अगर आपका बाहर का दुनिया जो हेटेरोसेक्सुअल दुनिया है वो केवल सेक्स के बारे में है, तो हमारी ये दुनिया भी सेक्स के बारे में. लेकिन अगर विषम लैंगिक दुनिया, बाहर की जो दुनिया, तिरस्कार, सम्मान, भाईचारा, ये सारी भावनाएं हैं, तो दुनिया के इस पहलू पर भी प्रेम, स्वीकार, तिरस्कार, भाईचारा, फ्रेंडशिप, मित्रता, मृदुता, ये सारी भावनाएं हैं. We are also as human as any heterosexual people are. We are as sexual as any heterosexual people are. And we are as compassionate as any heterosexual people are. We also need same emotions of companion. We also need the same emotions of togetherness with somebody. We also need the same feeling that to go back after work at home and go back to our partner, fight with them, cook with them.
True. Ankit गायब हो गए.
So, Rachna,
Out of all the days, his
but
one
Ankit was telling.
yes, Umang, go ahead.
So, adding to what Ankit is saying, we sometimes, the community want to communicate and talk and, connect as possible, and that's why we have sex. Sometimes we just want that company. We just want to talk, but the other person is not ready. For him, it's just the connection is sex, because we don't understand. Glorified or pushed on a pedestal, because we don't know the concept that two coffee, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 city, game is just sex. But we need to talk, we need to connect and all, but other person doesn't want to. So my connection is through sex. That's the only language the other person understands.
And a little bit is also, I'll say, society needs to be blamed for it, because society has not accepted us. So we will continue our life the way society is expecting us. But what about my needs? What about my urges? What about the things which I naturally demand, right? And that's why I'll go out and be in the closet, hook up with people from the same gender, and come back to the society and live a fake life. So if society would have accepted us, would have opened their hearts and minds towards us, the homosexual community would have not been so sexual.
True, very, very, very true. And I hope जो आज देख रहे हैं, थोड़े तुम में से 1, 2, 5 तुम में से कोई भी अभी चेंज लाएगा, इनको टीज नहीं करेगा, समझेगा, अपने बच्चे को एक्सेप्ट करेगा या एडुकेट करेगा, बुली नहीं करेगा, आई थिंक हमारा पॉडकास्ट अगर से 1 या 5 लोग भी देखकर उसमें तुम ट्रू चेंज लेके आओगे, रिस्पेक्ट करोगे, उनको एक्सेप्ट करोगे, दैट वुड बी रियली वंडरफुल. एक्सेप्टेंस से टॉपिक आया कि इंडिया में लॉज कितना एक्सेप्टिंग है और आपके लिए क्या लॉज है इंडिया में आपको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए. Who's going to take this?
Yeah, Ankit.
Yes.
So let's start with IPC 377. The IPC 377, Indian Penal Code of Tier 377, which criminalized any sexual act which was non-penovaginal as criminal. Which was brought to us by Britishers. Again, the history of that is a biblical understanding of what is right and wrong, what is moral and immoral according to Orthodox Christian tradition, which Britishers followed in that country. When they ruled us, they brought in the law to us, right? Fortunately, after so many years of fight and struggle inside and outside courts by individual activists like Umang and so many others, and organizations like Gay Pompey, Humsafar Trust, NAS Foundation, so on and so forth, finally we have got rid of IPC 377 by Honorable Supreme Court of India in 2018. That is point number 1. As far as trans people are concerned, we are fortunate to have a Trans Act passed by the parliament of our country. It has some of the challenges with its own, but we are moving towards the progress. We also have a special dedicated law, a judgment by the Supreme Court called Nalsa judgment, which looks after trans rights and trans people's upliftment. We currently have a national level trans committee formed by the central government of India to look after the national level upliftment of trans community. We also have various states talking about, as far as the other LGBT people are concerned, the 377 law is there, which the 377 has been read down. So today I'm no more a criminal. Can you believe this? That I was born in a country where I was born as criminal because my sexuality is by birth. मैं तो गे ही पैदा हुआ था, और अगर मैं गे ही पैदा हुआ था मतलब मैं जन्म से ही एक गैर कानूनी था. और इसकी सजा कितनी थी? आप जो सजा किसी रेपिस्ट या किसी खूनी को देंगे, यानी कि 10 साल से आजीवन कारावास, ये सजा मुझे मिल सकती थी जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द पर्सन whom I happen to love happens to be of the same gender. और ये मैं जन्म से ही गैर कानूनी था, मैं जन्म से ही एक अपराधी था according to IPC 377, which in 2018 we have got rid of, right? So that was the legal scenario. Fortunately, we have got rid of it. Currently, I'm happy to share with your audience and everybody here that currently there are 5 petitions filed in various high courts of our country, including 3 of them in Delhi High Court, which is looking after marriage equality. There are conversations about uniform civil code, which needs to be gender neutral. I don't know how much of that would be successful. But when I look at the current legal scenario on a macro level, I feel I'm super proud and happy about my country. The kind of progress India has made in last 7 to 10 years, nobody would have imagined even 20 years ago, right? So we have got rid of we have got decriminalized homosexuality. We have laws in place to protect trans community. We have conversation about marriage equality, and hopefully in our lifetime, we will see the time wherein we are also having more civil rights. So that's what the legal framework is in India. But again, when we talk about society, it's not just the legal framework. There are other dimensions to society. Like so many business organizations is today talking about LGBT inclusion in the framework of diversity, equity, inclusion, like never before. We have a parent support group like Swikar, which talks about their children being queer, and not only just talking, they are filing petition in the high courts and Supreme Court saying that our children deserves the equal rights, right? We have doctor support groups which talks about health, mental health and regular health, medical conversations and medical community. If you see the Pride March of any city, and again, I'm happy to share that the Pride March are not limited to Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, which is the big city, but cities like Guwahati are having a Pride March. City like Surat is having a Pride March. City like Nagpur is having a Pride March. City like Awadh is having a Pride March. Could you have imagined this 15 years ago in Bharat? Today we are having that, right? So we have religious support group. I'm a member of National Council of Churches in India, which are talking about how do we make churches inclusive. I'm a founder of Queer Hindu Alliance, which talks about how do we connect LGBT rights and Hinduism today. We have a Queer Muslim project in India, right? So religious community, business community, medical community, educational community, all of these are also talking about how do we make society inclusive. So when I look back in my generation, I feel my generation, Rachna, is the luckiest queer generation in India. Do you know why? Because a generation before me struggled for rights, but unfortunately did not see the positive days which we are seeing it today. And a generation after me may get everything on the platter.
Right.
We don't know what it was like to live in 1947 when India got its independence, when people who struggled for the independence. So it is said that the generation who struggles for the independence values the independence the most. My generation, Umang's generation, we collectively, I'm considering both of us in the same generation, we as a generation have seen the day of being criminal to being decriminalized, and hopefully we are the generation who will also be seeing the day of marriage equality, if not adoption rights. And that's why I feel that my generation or 2021 in India is the luckiest queer generation of India. How great is that?
Very. I'm so glad that I know such things which I was not aware. I knew something happened in 2018, but I didn't know. Thank you so much for explaining that. Yes, Umang, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I raised my hand because I thought I'll forget the chain of thought which Ankit was going through. So when he was talking about the parents and, the support group and the Swikar group. So I will give you a difference of parents' perspective, So maybe many years back, when I introduced one parents at the Gay Bombay Parents Meet, here is a parent of a gay child, she shouted and yelling, "He sagla अनैसर्गिक आहे, हे काही साजरं करायची गोष्ट नाहीये." this is immoral, this is unnatural, this is nothing to celebrate, and she created a UN cry. There is also a parent, when somebody came out, mom, I am gay, there's a lot of pressure. A Maharashtrian typical family, middle class, didn't know mom will understand. So he gathered the courage, Rachna, and said that, Mummy, me gay aahe, mujhe ladki ne ladke pasand hai. Mother said what? कि तुमने मुझे ये पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? जब तुम कश्मकश में थे, the term was happening for so many years of your acceptance. I was not there with you. I have been there with you. That is a regret I'm going to live for the rest of my life. So this is what, and the best part, what is really heartwarming, Rachna, is I have started a gay matchmaking initiative called Mr. and Mr. A mother approached me and told me, Umang, find a guy for my boy. I was so happy. So things have changed. Just imagine a mother calling me and saying, can you find a guy for my boy? Wow.
So are there more gay, these matrimonial sites or dating sites where, or you're the first one, or are there more?
This is a gay matchmaking initiative, not a dating site.
Okay,
this is for people
for shadi or for living together?
Only for gays.
They need to get married. Can they get married?
Marriage is not legalized. Marriage is not legal in India. You can ritually get married with band, baja, barat, and there is always a fight कि बारात किसके घर से निकलेगी. Sota man.
How sweet. Okay.
But yes, you are. This is for people who are looking for stable and long-term relationship, and only for desi gays around the world and in India, of course.
Acha, but are there more, or this is like the first initiative, like Mr. and Mr. कि पहले और भी है ऐसे?
This is first. I think this is one of its kind, Rachna.
Okay, that's good. So जिनको भी मैच में, और please मैं आप लोगों के हाथ पैर जोड़ती हूँ, जिनको फालतूगिरी करना है, ठीक है, ऐसे मैच मेकिंग साइट्स पे मत जाओ. तुम किसी की जिंदगी बर्बाद कर सकते हो, तुम किसी को ट्रॉमा दे सकते हो. If you are genuinely gay and genuinely looking for someone good, if you are a good human being, then go to these sites, because तुम लोग को मस्ती मजाक लगता होगा कि किसी के साथ सेक्स कर लिया, हो गया, हम लोग नहीं, आपको समझ में नहीं आता. चाहे वो लड़का हो, लड़की हो, गे हो, लेस्बियन हो, हम सबके दिल एक जैसे होते हैं, हम सबको फीलिंग्स होते हैं. अगर से आप थोड़े सोशियोपैथ, साइकोपैथ टाइप से, प्लीज ये सब चीजों से और मेरे चैनल से भी दूर रहिए. Just before this we aired, I had posted a community post and somebody wrote galis. Somebody said कि इन सबको मार देना चाहिए, तुम लोगों को ना जेल में डालना चाहिए जो तुम लोग ऐसे सोचते हो. और मैं ये I think I posted this thing also कि अगर से बॉलीवुड हो, मीम हो, काचा बादाम रील हो, चक्का चक्का हूं मैं, वो सब तुम लोग फॉरवर्ड करोगे, वो सब तुम लोग शेयर करोगे, बट ये जो हमारे पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए जो अच्छा है, टॉपिक्स जिसपे हम लोगों ने शेयर करना चाहिए, एक दूसरे को समझना चाहिए, उस पे तुम लोग झिझक जाते हो. तो आई होप आप लोग भी, ये देखो कितने प्राउड और कितने स्ट्रॉन्ग और पावरफुल लोग हैं, इतने ब्रेव हैं. थोड़ा आप लोग भी थोड़ा ब्रेवरी दिखाओ. क्या तुम लोग डरते हो दुनिया से? कुछ नहीं, वैसे ही दुनिया हम लोग को कभी कुछ मदद नहीं करने वाली, ठीक है. सो लिव योर लाइफ एंड प्लीज डोंट हर्ट योरसेल्फ. अगर से कुछ भी है, उमंग भी है, अंकित भी है, वी विल post the resources and their all of their resources, कहाँ पे उनको कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, कौन सा मैच मेकिंग साइट है, ये सब ये लोग मुझे देंगे. और अभी क्वेश्चंस आए हैं, तो लेट मी टेक सम क्वेश्चंस. आई नो आई हैड वन क्वेश्चन, बट मेरे दिमाग से वो अभी फिलहाल निकल गया है, वो जब आएगा तो देखेंगे, ठीक है. Okay, I have visited an NGO and they have registered more than 1400 gay people and most of them are involved in sex work. NGO is working for HIV presentation in MSM. I don't know. Okay, is that like, does anybody know anything about that? No. Okay. तुम दोनों को कुछ नहीं कहना उसके बारे में, मुझे समझ में भी नहीं आया क्वेश्चन. Okay, so now this is a thing, ma'am. One of my friends is bi.
Maybe that person may be talking about. Yeah, maybe that person was talking about safe. So many NGOs work in the area of safety in terms of STDs. So they may be like, distributing condoms for free. Data gets collected. Maybe that person was talking about that.
Okay, so this person is saying, ma'am, one of my friends is bi and he's a Muslim and also religious. They say it's prohibited in Islam, so he feels guilty. He feels that he's committing a sin. What are your words of suggestions to him? Please reply. So Umang, go first, and then Ankit, please add some, opinion. And what do you
Get the
have to
question.
say?
That his friend is gay or something. By what is the question? Ankit, did you get the question?
Yeah, he's bi, but
No, I
apparently
lost my
sorry, he's saying that his friend is a Muslim and also religious. He says it's prohibited in Islam, so he feels guilty and he feels like he's committing a sin. He's bi, but so that means he must be into women and men. But obviously, the men part, since looks like it's a guy, so it must be that gay thing, which he's feeling very embarrassed or feels like it's a sin.
So the best part, there are two things. One is to be honest, go to a counselor, a psychologist, and understand that this is not a sin, you are born this way. And the other is go somewhere where is a sense of belonging. Meet other people who are Muslim and bi and are confident. When you meet other people like you don't feel that you are an outsider or abnormal. That's what I said again and again. Go to places where you get a sense of belonging. If you still be with straight people, you will always feel odd or weird. You have to find people like you and have a sense of belonging.
Okay. Ankit, we still didn't address that they, them, and someone wrote that they, nowadays they say per self instead of herself. Do you have anything? How do gays not, who are we supposed to use they, them for exactly?
All right, let me give a brief understanding. Again, my understanding is quite limited because these things keep evolving, and every few months there is something which new comes up. And it is again a little bit problematic in my understanding. So first of all, he and him is used for the people who identify themselves as men, right? I am identifying myself as men because I'm biologically men and I consider myself as men. So I'm a cisgender male person, biologically male. When I was born, doctor said, "Oh, badaiyo, aapko beta hua hai," and I consider myself as male. That's why I am a cisgender person, cisgender male person, and I can use he and him. The same way, any heterosexual men can also be using the term he and him. It is not only for gays, because any cisgender person, any cisgender male person can use the term he and him. Now, she and her, any woman. What do you mean by woman? Anybody who consider themselves as female or who is a cisgender female, lesbian or straight, can use the terminology she and her. Then third one, what is they and them? Wherein there are people who do not identify with male gender or female gender, and they identify themselves as not within this binary. They can be trans or gender fluid or other diversity, and that is when they identify themselves as they, them in a say classroom, and you come to know that somebody who is visiting your classroom. All right, if you do not know the gender of that person, how will you say that? How will you tell to your friends somebody is coming? You will say they are coming. Why? Because you do not know is it he who is coming or she who is coming, right? Language naturally gives you the terminology they there when you are not able to use the gender of he and him. That's why you use the word they. It is exactly same here. These are the people who do not fit within the bracket of he and him, and that's why they use the word they. It is as simple as that. But at the same time, I would like to also say one thing to my own community members, that many times they take offend when they do not get identified the preferred gender by the people, right? I mean, I would say that it's a conversation. It's together learning and evolving, right? So if somebody misgenders you, please educate them. Don't get offended at them.
Yeah.
Please tell them what you mean by that. Please tell them why you feel it is so important for you, because they may not understand why your gender identity and identifying with your preferred gender is so important for you. So explain them, educate them, and do it that multiple times, at least 2 to 3 times. Yet they misgender you, then you can take offense that they don't understand, right? But just like, in a casual way, somebody misgenders you and then you take an offense, then you are burning the bridge. We need to make a society where we have a conversation and have little bit of freedom for mistakes and have a little bit of freedom to evolve with each other.
Right,
So as you, Rachna, rightly said in starting that somebody took offense by you misgendering them. So that is also a little wrong from my communities, and that's what I personally.
yeah, true. Because in Discord, all of a sudden people is like, you're saying he, she. I said, मुझे समझ में आए तो इंसान दे them करेगा ना. इंसान को समझ ही नहीं, इतना all of a sudden तुम नया कुछ सीख रहे हो. मुझे क्या पता तुम लोग का जेंडर, मुझे कुछ लेना भी देना भी नहीं. To be very honest, I'm very open-minded. I said, तुमको जो जेंडर बनना है बनो, मेरे को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I look at most people like human beings, right? We are all from the same race. मैं वो देखती हूँ. पर हाँ, आई अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा नहीं लगता, पर हम लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि क्या बोलना है. तो थैंक यू फॉर एनलाइटनिंग मी. ऑल्दो मुझे स्टिल लगता है करके मैं जब बात करूंगी मैं थोड़ा बहुत तो कंफ्यूज हो जाऊंगी. जब मुझे कोई भी, जैसे कल भी जो ऐसे, हाउ वुड यू लाइक मी टू से,
उसका बहुत आसान तरीका है.
यू
need to just ask person before you start a conversation. You just ask, hi Rachna, how are you doing, what is your preferred gender pronouns, or would you like to tell me your gender pronouns so that I don't misgender you. If you think that there is a person who suppose is queer and they may get offended by their gender identity being misgendered, or you think that their gender identity may not be cisgender from the appearance or whatever, it is always better to ask before you start a conversation. And it's as simple as that.
नहीं, but I'll tell you something, okay? So, जो couple of cases आए हैं, so they have been trans man, trans woman. तो कभी-कभी उनकी आवाज मेल है, right? और they are talking like a female. अब थोड़ा टाइम तो मुझे लगेगा, right? वो तो आदत नहीं है. हम लोग को ऐसे हम बाउंड्रीज में बंध गए हैं कि कभी-कभी मैं you know you are something very masculine. I said, and then, fuck no, she just told me it's a she, it's not a he. So it's going to take us time, and I hope people will be a little more patient for the rest of the world to change according to what, and like you said, it's so fluid. घड़ी घड़ी चीजें LGBTQ से कहाँ पहुंच गए हम, IAS पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है. So obviously हम भी, you know, we're trying to educate ourselves, and इतना कुछ सीखने के लिए है. So thank you so much, Ankit, for that. Umang, would you like to say something?
One thing, Rachna, because this is very important, because you know, especially in the community, हमें बहुत बुरा लग जाता है कि वो मेरे बारे में क्या सोच रहा है, you know, अरे वो मुझे ऐसा समझ रहा है कि मैं whatever छक्का हूँ, या मैं वो ऐसा समझता है कि मैं गर्ली हूँ, और ये ऐसा समझता है, you know, and this is like a wisdom level, Rachna, कि I have no control what other person thinks about me. I have no control. It depends on his upbringing, his education, और आज सुबह किस मूड में उठा उसके ऊपर है. So if I keep worrying कि वो मेरे बारे में क्या सोचता है, I have no control. So if I stop worrying about it, I'll be free, and I accept कि मैं जो भी हूँ मैं ऐसा हूँ, नहीं तो मैं जो वो सोचता है वैसे behave करूँ my whole life, ना. So it's better be myself and take responsibility. Right. So what I keep trying to tell you is that people outside will not change, but if we can process our thinking, we'll be liberated.
True, very true. Somebody has written, what about those who have already married, they're gay but they or lesbian, then they're already married. What does one do then?
So I'll tell you something very important. You know, today people are talking about divorce, which is so common. Okay, people are talking about gay movies. 5 साल के बाद ना, it will become very common. People coming out of marriages and talking, yeah, I was gay once upon a time. Now it will become very common. Today you can start doing it. Okay, you made a mistake. Go and talk to your wife. Go talk to your children, and if possible, get out of the marriage mutually. 5 साल के बाद ये बहुत common हो जाएगा. You should not regret कि मैं तब क्यों I did not come out to my wife. Today being gay is so talking, divorces are open. Why can't you go and tell your wife कि yeah, I made a mistake or whatever, I am gay, and you can then start fresh.
True, that's true. And किसी ने लिखा है सूरत doesn't have a pride match, तो आप start कीजिए.
Surat had a pride. Surat had a pride. A good friend of mine, and unfortunately passed away, Swagat Shah, had organized Surat Pride. So Surat had pride.
Oh, is it? When was this? Many years back, is it, or recent?
I think it was in 2013 or 12 or 13, if I'm not wrong.
तो आप भी स्टार्ट करो, you know, be strong, contact Umang and Ankit अगर से करना है. मैं फोर्स नहीं कर रही हूँ. I know it is not easy to come out and to deal with this so much confusion आपके अंदर हो रहा है, so take your time, ठीक है? मैंने already answer कर दिया कि what can gays who is already married to a girl but by some means of mistake or ignorance, who do they come out of? अभी वही answer किया उमंग ने, और अंकित, what do you have to say in case कर लिया अभी शादी, so do you think divorce is the way to go?
I think I would not jump directly towards the divorce. I would say that have a conversation and what works for you. There cannot be a like a standard solution to this situation. Have an open and honest conversation with your wife, with your children. Honesty is the best policy here, and a conversation is the tool. So, and see what works for all of you together, and which will make life easier for the future instead of living in the regret for the rest of your life. It can be divorce, it cannot be divorce, whatever. We live in a very complex world where one solution may not fit everybody.
Okay. And someone's written, I'm planning to come out soon. Any suggestions or tips you can provide? I'm committed to a guy. My boyfriend has already come out and his parents didn't accept it very well. They are constantly pressurizing him to get married to a girl. It's making his life hell. We are in a long distance relationship. So what tips would you like to give? He's planning to come out soon.
Okay, so first of all, sensitize your parents, test them. Maybe some gay articles, some videos, something you can forward to your parents. See what is their reaction. One of the best things today, which I did not have, is a support group called Sweekar. There is a parents of gay people. Go and talk to them. See, it's like this, Rachna. If you are of a certain community, if you are a Gujarati, and you can talk to a Gujarati mom. If your mother is a lawyer, you can talk to a support group of a parent who's a lawyer. Somebody who's a housewife, talk to. And then they will help you. And then you can connect that mother to your parents, That is the kind you can come out. So try to understand your parents. And also one is very important, that if telling your parents is going to deteriorate the situation, then don't tell. Everybody did not come out. If you everybody can be single, there cannot be reason. So everything is different. You just test whom should you come. One of the good reason is you can come out to your mother's friend, your relative, and then tomorrow when you come out, at least somebody is there to help. So such kind of things are one of the best thing is to show them the movie Badhai Do. This another movie which was there of Ayushman. Test them how they are reacting, and then sensitize, and then you can come out.
Actually, that was a good point. In अगर से आपके फैमिली में, जैसे मैंने बहुत बार बोला है, बहुत सारे बच्चे जो नीट जेई नहीं करना चाहते या कुछ अपना अलग करना चाहते हैं या पेरेंट्स को कन्फ्रंट करना चाहते हैं, चाहे वो एक रिलेशनशिप में हो या कुछ भी लाइफ में, पहले गेट सपोर्ट. देखो अगर से आपके फैमिली में कोई है जो समझ पाता है आपको और जानता है कि आप ऑलरेडी गे हो एंड सपोर्ट करता है, जब आप साथ में जाओगे उनके, that would make a much better this thing for you, because शायद इतना ना अपसेट हो. और उनको टाइम दो. आपने अगर से अंकित और उमंग की बिगनिंग की बात सुनी है, उनको टाइम लगेगा ये समझने को. इन लोगों को इतनी टाइम लग रही है अपने आप को समझने में. इमेजिन करो दूसरों को कितना टाइम लगेगा हमको समझने में. पूरी जिंदगी निकल जाती है हमको खुद को समझने में. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इनको टाइम लगेगा. आपके पेरेंट्स वो लोग उस जनरेशन आए जहाँ पे इतना स्टिग्मा, और बॉलीवुड के मूवीज में भी किसी को छक्का बोलना, कोई लड़की ऐसे चल रहे उस पर लाफ्टर दिखाना, ये सब बंद करना है. धीरे धीरे ये सब चीजें चेंज करनी है. तो उनका भी फॉल्ट कंप्लीटली नहीं है कि उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आप क्या एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो, आप क्यों गए हो और क्या होता है. ठीक है, सो गो विद दिस. अंकित, व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से for this person? What tips, if they want to come out, what tips would you give?
Yeah, I'll quickly answer because I want to answer all the questions and we are already running quite short on time now.
Yeah.
So I have already given a dedicated TED talk on this, on things to take care before you come out. But to summarize this, I would say that ask yourself 3 questions. And of course, what Umang talked about, so I'll not touch upon those points. It's very important. So it's a pre-conversation to these 3 questions. First of all, check the waters by having a conversation about being queer, directly or indirectly, by putting some TV show like Satyameva Jayate had a dedicated LGBT special show, which was a fantastic show. You can just put that on a TV and see parents' reaction. Talk about maybe your friend happens to be gay in your college or in your workplace, and see, mom, मेरे ऑफिस में ना बंदा है, वो गे, उसने एक लड़की के साथ शादी कर ली, और ऐसे लंच टेबल पे ऐसे बात करो, डिनर टेबल पे बात करो, how your parents react. See, the waters before you jump into it. So these are the important things. Second is also important is that have a community, and again, me and Umang have talked about importance of finding your own community and support system, right? So apart from these two, I would say ask yourself 3 important questions, and these are the 3 litmus questions before you come out. The first, after coming out, is your physical safety under question? We have seen, unfortunately, cases wherein parents have created troubles for a child after they come out. They would have put them in a lock at a home, in house arrest, taken their mobile phone, cut them from the whole world around, external world, cut them from the external communication, all that. If that is something is going to happen, you think that would happen, I would advise you not to come out right now and hold on. Just 2 years ago, not in India, but in Iran, we came across a case wherein a child came out as gay, and his parents actually got external people and murdered their own son because he came out as gay in Iran. All right. So unfortunate things could happen. This is not the Indian case, but in whatever level, if you think that your physical safety is under question, I would advise you not to come out right now. Ask yourself now, second question, and that is, do you have enough resources to survive on your own? Because there are chances wherein your parents may throw you out of their home. And if you're not earning right now, I would advise you not to come out right now. I would be getting a call at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock from teenage kids, studying in 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, and it's saying that, hey, I came out as gay to my parents, a lesbian as my parent, and they have thrown me out of home. Now what do I do? Right? And then we have to look for some support system, NGOs, and where they can spend a night or a few days. But remember, nobody's gonna take care of you for your life or till you complete your education. So if you think that by coming out, your parents will throw you out of your home, or you will not have enough resources to survive on your own, advise you not to come out right now. So first is we talked about safety. Ask yourself, is that, do you have emotional security after you come out? Because coming out, my friends, is going to, right? There may be chances that sin I have done of the life, that I have got son like you. Your siblings may reject you, give you tana, your society around you may reject you, right? And that is a phase you need to be strong. That phase may last from 1 week to 1 month to few years. We never know. So however long that phase lasts, you need to be emotionally strong. So if your answer to the question from any of these 3 questions is no, I would advise you, hold on right now. Be in a position of strength, complete your education, start earning, be in emotionally stronger phase right now, and then come out.
That was really good, Ankit. Thank you so much for putting it in perspective. Okay, I know that we have spoken for almost. Just before you leave, can you tell me something? There's lots of children who are being trolled, bullied for the way they walk, or they look gay, or they are effeminate, whatever the reason. How are there any support groups for them? One, what do they do to how to handle this kind of bullying? Because that is the main thing which bothers them. Coming out is little later when you become stronger, but to deal with this stigma and this thing which constantly the pressure that they have to go through, what will you suggest to them? What can they do?
Okay. So the first thing is first of all, the guilt and the shame and all, first you need to be confident about yourself. Then you can talk to others. So you need to understand, as I said earlier, that you didn't have a choice. You are born gay. So you did not choose to be gay. You are not standing in the queue upstairs. Ki Bhagwan ke mujhe gay banao. You are born gay. So first of all, don't be ashamed or embarrassed about yourself. You are born gay. It's like how people are born with, as Ankit said, with blue eyes and brown hair. You are born this way. Or so regarding bullying and all that, one of the best answers Devdutt Patnaik told me is that if somebody asks, "Are you gay?" the best answer is not for you. So you're not denying them, or you're not even acknowledging, Or the other answer is, if somebody asks you, "Are you gay?" Why are you interested? Coming to bullying and all that stuff, you need to first of all find support groups. They are very, very important to meet people like you who can be effeminate, who likes to wear maybe sandals or move the hands the way you do. Meet people like that. And first of all, as I said, you need to be thick skinned. Suppose वो ऐसा बोल रहा है, so see, suppose somebody is telling me कि उमंग तू लड़की जैसा है or whatever, that is his opinion. That is his opinion. I did not take it. रचना, जब हम बच्चे थे ना, तो कोई हमें बोलता था कि तू काला है या तू ऐसा है, खाउद्रू है, ये हम रोते रोते मम्मी के पास आते थे और बोलते थे कि मम्मी उसने मुझे ये बोला, और मम्मी हमें बोलती थी उसने बोला तो तू हो गया नहीं ना. तो why do we forget this in the adulthood कि हमें कोई बोलता है, अरे तू लड़की की जैसा क्या चल रहा है, तू ऐसा है, अरे दिनचाक, अरे सिक्सर. That is sticking to it. Again, I am saying the outside world is not going to change, or it's going to take a time. We have to take care of ourselves. उसने बोला तो हो गया नहीं ना, उसका opinion है. To accept or not, it's up to me. And the best thing is to find people like you. Go and find people like you who are whatever, like to wear pink colors, pink sandals, have a purse, whatever. Meet people like you and half thing will be gone. I just want to add one thing about earlier conversation with Ankit is about the parents. Okay, we need to be, of course, understanding. I'll give you a very good example. Today, if I was straight and if my son would come and tell me, Daddy, I have joined a nudist camp, it's going to be a cultural shock. I am going to root nude in streets and houses and all. It's a cultural shock. Same cultural shock your parents are getting when you tell them that I am gay. So understand, they are from a different generation. It will take time.
True.
That's it. Over to you, Ankit.
Ankit, so what is your tips for the ones to handle this? I think he's
Ankit
ka screen hangover.
Well, I would say that. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Am I
but
audible?
your camera and volume is.
Am I audible?
Maybe you can just switch off your camera and talk, because I think it's तुम्हारा bandwidth ज़्यादा use हो रहा है. Just switch off your camera and maybe then you can perhaps, let's say it will work.
Okay. Am I audible now? Let's
Yeah. It's
try one last time. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
You're audible, but
all right.
your frame is frozen.
Yeah.
It's lagging.
If you allow bully to bully you, the bully will continue. If you allow bully to bully you, bully will not only continue to bully you, but will bully other children as well. No matter what the bullying reason is, it can be related to LGBT, it can be about your skin color, it can be about the math problem you didn't know when teacher asked you. No matter what the reason of bully is, you need to call out the bully the moment you are being bullied. You can reach out to your parents, you can reach out to your teachers, they will support you. And if you think that bullying has reached to a certain level, then you can also file a legal official complaint with the help of an adult in your life. Talk to your elder brother and sisters, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers. And if nothing works out, and if you're listening to this internet conversation right now, that means you have access to internet, then reach out to people like me. We will help you in stopping the bullying. But no matter what, stop the bullying to the moment it starts at the moment that itself. Because if you continue agreeing to the bullying, then it is not going to stop. So answer to bully is to calling out and bullying and nothing else.
Agreed. Even many times I've told my clients, not who are gay or who are LGBTQ, even regularly when they get bullied or something, I said, मुझे call करो, मुझे video call पे रखो, उनको मैं डांट लगाऊंगी, right? And we'll make them famous. मैं तो बोलती हूँ, आजकल I think with all the negative effects of being on social media, the amount of shit they watch and all, but there is a good also which comes out, which their people are worried about going viral, right? So we can actually get them viral and say ki, watch out, don't bully us. We can easily post it on social media. Or maybe use karti hu, when people bully and troll me, I said, real ID से आओ ना, इतनी हिम्मत है तो real ID से आके दिखाओ, तुमको मैं सब जगह पोस्ट करूंगी, तुम अच्छे से तुम्हारा 15 minutes of fame हो जाएगा. So thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you so much, Umang. Do you want to say something before you leave, in case I just didn't ask a particular question? You know, as I'm not so well versed कि क्या पूछना है, मैं तो naturally अपना सोच रही थी. If there's anything I left out, please do tell us before you leave. What would you like to add?
No. First of all, I want to thank Rachna, because you got, I think, 10,000 or so many followers, and look at what impact you are creating. You know, even one person can come out and go his parents and tell anybody, is going to change his life. So I'm so glad that you are taking this path-breaking subjects like trans, HIV, body shaming, and this. So thank you so much, Rachna. The kind of impact you are doing, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. What my last message is to tell you is that, first of all, take out from your mind that there is something wrong with you, and don't try to see. You don't go and talk about it. See, if you hide something, is something to be shamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You are not ashamed of your brown hair and whatever, fair skin or whatever, blue eyes. Ashamed of being gay. God has made you gay. So don't put it in the top, under the carpet and be ashamed or embarrassed. Just be yourself. You did not select to be gay. God made you gay. God selected you to be gay. So that's complete. Again, so sum it up. It is not abnormal. It is in minority. ये कम है, ये खराब नहीं है. You know, if you keep this in mind, कम है, abnormal नहीं है, then you will be fine. I need to go and find more people like me. That's it.
And Ankit, what would you like to say?
Hello, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Ankit, I'm waiting for Ankit.
So first of all, thank you so much for the.
Ankit, maybe switch off your camera. Ankit,
I'm really glad that listeners, and I'm indeed you are doing. Okay, so I just wanted to say that I want to thank everyone who is listening to this, and thank you for doing this. This is such a great work you are doing. I'm really honored to be here on your platform, and many congratulations for the work you are doing. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, now you're perfectly audible.
Okay, so yeah, so my last message is that there are people who are not queer and yet listening to this conversation, right?
Right.
So no matter if you're queer or not, we all have some area of influence. No matter if you have followers like 10,000, which Rachna has, or few hundred like you and me have, or few other have, right? No matter what your number of followers are on social media, we have some area of influence. There are people who may have thousands of friends in real life. You may have 10 people in your life. Please use those areas of influence to spread the message of positivity and acceptance. Talk about LGBT community. Talk about LGBT rights on your social media and even in offline worlds. When you see that your friends, colleagues, family members are making jokes about LGBT community, please stop them then and there. Try to educate them. And if nothing, at least don't be a silent observer to this conversation, which is making negative comments about LGBT community and making jokes on us, right? Don't be part of this community. If your family groups are making such comments on your WhatsApp group, please leave those groups. It's fine, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what the Mahatma Gandhi said. To learn from him, I would say that we all have some area of influence, whether we are a student, we are a working professional, or a prime minister. Use those area of influence in spreading the message of love, peace, and acceptance for LGBT community and society in general. And let's make collectively a better world for all of us together. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you. So this is what I had also told. There was this many months back, I had this girl who was saying that her parents and aunts were fat shaming the cousin. So I said, why did you watch it happen? Speak up. I said, koi baat nahi. बोलो, तुमको अगर से तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स, तुम्हारे इर्द गिर्द, तुम्हारे फ्रेंड्स किसी को बुली कर रहे किसी भी एंगल से, उनको यू कैन सी, वो शक्ल पे नजर आता है कि वो इंसान इतना डिस्कम्फर्ट फील कर रहा है, चाहे वो किसी को शॉर्ट बुला रहे हो, किसी को काला बुला रहे हो, किसी भी, अभी ये तो एक अलग लेवल का बुलिंग होता है इस वाले LGBTQ के साथ, बट इवन रेगुलरली आई थिंक एवरीबडी शुड फॉरगेट द चेंज यू वांट टू सी, क्योंकि शायद आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, क्योंकि आपके साथ तो कभी नहीं हुआ है, पर इसका मतलब नहीं कि हम वी डोंट मेक द सोसाइटी। अब मैं LGBTQ कम्युनिटी से नहीं, मुझे तो ज्यादा, पर फिर भी मैं कर रही हूँ, राइट, मुझे चेंज इसमें नहीं, मुझे दूसरों के लिए कुछ करने में अच्छा लग रहा है, तो तुम लोगों को भी वो करना है, किसी अपने बारे में मत सोचो, एम्पैथेटिक बनो, दूसरा का दुख समझो, दूसरों का तकलीफ समझो, एंड अगर से ये सेलिब्रेट विद रचना 5 लोगों को भी चेंज कर पाए, that would be like the best thing that I have done on my channel. And somebody asked, can I contact you personally? ये किसके लिए था? मेरे लिए था, उमंग के लिए था, अंकित के लिए था, ये क्वेश्चन किसके लिए है राजेंद्र? बट जिसको भी, हम तीनों को आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो, नो प्रॉब्लम। मैं फ्री काउंसलिंग देती हूँ, इंग्लिश फ्री सिखाती हूँ, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल सिखाती हूँ बहुत कुछ करती हूँ, तो यू कैन ऑलवेज कॉन्टेक्ट मी, बट प्लीज गिव मी टाइम, माई DMs आर फुल, आई नीड टाइम। एंड अंकित और उमंग का मैं सारा ये पॉडकास्ट के बाद उनसे सारे रिसोर्सेज, चाहे वो मैच मेकिंग की हो, चाहे कंप्लेंट्स करने हैं, सपोर्ट ग्रुप, सारा वो मुझे देंगे। प्लीज रिसोर्सेज में जरूर चेक करना, और तुम लोग को तो पता है, बी काइंड टू अदर्स बट बी वेरी काइंड टू योर सेल्फ ऑल्सो, बी नाइस, बी लव योर सेल्फ फर्स्ट, ठीक है? थैंक यू सो मच अंकित, थैंक यू उमंग फॉर डूइंग दिस, and I hope one day we all get back together, because I really love this conversation. It was like,
thank you Rachna for inviting me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you. Bye.
Bye Ankit, nice meeting
you. Thank you Rachna, thank you. Yeah. Bye Umang, nice meeting you. Take care.
Bye, see you soon.
Okay, तो people, अब मैं चली, okay, आज हम लोगों ने काफी इमोशनल टॉपिक बात किया है, मुझे तो बीच बीच में रोना जाता है, और जस्ट लाइक अदर पीपल जब रोने की बात करते हैं मुझे और रोना जाता है, तो मैं आई विल ट्राई नॉट टू क्राई, और मुझे मालूम है जो तुम लोग देख रहे थे, तुम लोग को बुरा लग रहा था कि मैं रो रही थी, बट मैं हुई इमोशनल इंसान, ऊपर से ये सब सुन के इतना तकलीफ होता है। सो एक मिनट, हाँ, सब लोग ने इतने क्यूट क्यूट चीजें लिखे हैं यार, सार्थक वापस से देखो, हमने एक्सप्लेन किया था वो प्लस क्या होता है, और थोड़ा रीडिंग भी करो, और जिसने पैनसेक्सुअलिटी के बारे में लिखा, हम लोग ऑलरेडी द पॉडकास्ट वेंट वेरी लॉन्ग, पैनसेक्सुअलिटी यार थोड़ा पढ़ लो, इंडिया में आई नो कम बात होता है, बट ठीक है, हम यहाँ से जो स्टार्ट करें, एंड अपना ध्यान रखो। बाय द वे, जो लोगों को ऑन द बीम नॉर्मली होता है एवरी 3rd मंडे एंड 1st मंडे, वो कल नहीं होगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे पब्लिक हॉलीडे, मैंने रियलाइज नहीं किया, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जैसे इंडिया में ईद है, यहाँ पे रमजान है, और एंड इट स्किप्ड माय माइंड, ठीक है? और अपना ध्यान रखो, मुझे कांटेक्ट करो अगर से कोई तकलीफ हो रही है, लाइक, सब्सक्राइब, कमेंट जरूर करो, हम लोग मैं और हम साथ में इंडिया को धीरे धीरे चेंज करेंगे, एंड विल मेक दिस ब्यूटीफुल सपोर्ट ग्रुप एंड सोसाइटी एंड फैमिली, जो भी तुम बोलो, जहाँ हम लोग चेंज लाएंगे। तो सिर्फ आप लोगों के लिए नहीं, हमारे नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए। आपको याद रखना है, आपके चिल्ड्रन, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन ऐसे वर्ल्ड में आने वाले हैं, बी केयरफुल। तुम अगर से उसको गंदा करोगे, तुम्हारे चिल्ड्रन भी उसको भुगतेंगे, और अगर से तुम अच्छा करोगे, तुम्हारे बच्चे, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन, उनके ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन, दे विल हैव सच अ ब्यूटीफुल वर्ल्ड। So I hope together we'll create a beautiful world. Okay. And yes, thank you Siddhi, thank you Nisha, thank you Faiz, thank you Ananya, thank you Ravi, Kiran, Chess Time, Praveen, Raj, thank you so much. Love you all and I'll see you all soon. मुझे 1-2 दिन का ब्रेक लेना है, मैं बहुत थक गई हूँ, बहुत ज्यादा काम है, एंड कल छुट्टी है, तो I hope I'm going to enjoy it. और अभी भी मेरा भाई आया है, I think I'm meeting him after 3 years. So love you all. कोई तकलीफ हो, do contact me. और अंकित और उनके साथ definitely I'll post the social media links. वैसे उनको आज मैंने पोस्ट में टैग किया है, तो in case you want to write to them direct, you can on Insta. ठीक है? Bye, take care.